The third and final week of the preseason is here. A fourth exhibition game is a thing of the past. It's the Steelers and the Lions, and it's coming up next on Madden NFL 25.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you, and now we sit CD at week 3 of the preseason, and this is the one that the coaches probably think is pretty valuable, right?
Certainly. This is the dress rehearsal. This is the one where your starters are going to play. You might even game plan a little bit more than you do with a normal preseason game, and then you've got to decide, do you bring them back after halftime and get them going again in the third quarter so they're ready to go when the regular season begins? I'm eager to see how these coaches will handle that.
On to get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And we are underway from Ford Field. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And out come the Lions for their first drive behind their 9th-year quarterback. In year number 4 with Detroit, it's Jared Goff.
It's hardly an exaggeration to say that Goff has revitalized his career these last couple of years. And he's rewarded for it during the offseason, as Detroit has certainly made sure everyone knows he's their quarterback for the future. It's clear that they believe in him, and he's done nothing to sway them from that belief.
Right to the air, here's Goff. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. So still a scoreless game in the first, but they're going to go for this thing on their own side of the field on fourth down. That is caught. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. They only needed that 1 yard going for it on 4th. I got to be honest, I thought they were going to stay on the ground. They surprised me. Did they surprise you?
I'm with you on that one. I thought they'd find a way to create some type of a power run and try and pick up the first down, but they decided to keep the ball in the hands of the guy who could throw it, and it paid off.
Yeah, the decision paid off indeed. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Got his man complete over the middle. That's right. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll bring up second down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive.
Well, that's one way, and a good way, to get things going offensively. One play in, and they're already on the move. The defense, they're hoping that's not a sign of things to come as this game unfolds.
And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT. 2nd and 10. In motion left goes a tight end. Here's Goff. And that'll be caught by St. Brown. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. Goff to St. Brown for the Detroit first down. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
Again, Goff. Yeah, he's got it. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs from 17 yards out. And the Lions are on the board first here this afternoon. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the fourth quarter. That's where the knockout occurs.
It becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So the Steelers make their way out, led by their fourth-year quarterback, picked up in the offseason from the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields.
And while things obviously didn't pan out in Chicago, he told us the other day that he's looking forward to making the most of this next opportunity. Let's not forget, Fields is one of the few quarterbacks in NFL history to rush for over 1,000 yards in a season. So his struggles certainly have been from a lack of talent, but for him to make the next step, he has become as productive with his arm as he is with his legs.
And he powers his way up past the 30. Tackle there by Alex Anzalone. From the 31, here's second down and 5. Fields now to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Fields. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big third down pickup to keep their drive alive.
Now a first down carry for Harris. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Derek Barnes in on the stop.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's Fields. Steps away to his left. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Fields, we know he has the good mobility. He flashes it there as he scrambles for the first down. They'll set up a throw. That's Cordero Patterson hauling it in. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on second down and 11. Back to throw. Fields. Eluding, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Credit that sack to Marcus Davenport. First and second down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. A shotgun snap. Fields. under pressure. They got him again. Dropped for a loss of 7 on multiple defenders. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. Well, just 2 series in here, Charles, but everything's gone to script so far. They got a touchdown on their first drive. Their defense holds, and now they've got a chance to take a 2-score lead.
And to co-sign with you, exactly the start they scripted up. And really, that kind of start, that can set the tone for the game for them.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20.
You've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Gibbs will try and pick it up. And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a 1st down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Now it's Goff. It's caught on the right side, Williams. And he'll be out right at the 35. 11 yards there and a Lion 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Open man right side is St. Brown.
One of the things you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
In need of only about the length of the football here on 2nd down. Now back to the ground. Here's Gibbs. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 15 yards for the Lions there on a 1st down. Seemed like they picked an excellent time there, Charles, to go with the draw play.
They certainly did. Caught him a little over-eager trying to get into the backfield and get to the quarterback. They used their speed and their aggressiveness against them, didn't they?
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Counter play. Here's Gibbs. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Now, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Another run for Gibbs here. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been on the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through them.
They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. To throw is Goff. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he is going to have the Lions 1st down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. He's got right on the short throw. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. Goff now looks to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. And St. Brown going to have the Lions first down as he's down inside the 15. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Out of the gun, they'll give to Gibbs. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
That call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. 2nd and 6 from the 10. Gibbs straight ahead, and they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
This will be caught just inside the 10. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. Now they'll send a tight end in motion left. Here we go on 4th. Goff escaping the pressure. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Lions' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Well, this has been a flawless start for them. They score, they get the stop, and they score again, Charles.
Complimentary football at its finest. You've just mentioned how they got it done. They scored. The defense got the ball back for them. They score again. That's the way you win ball games.
Badgley on for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. To throw is Fields. Flush to his right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Here's Fields. And that will be incomplete with the clock down now to 13 seconds.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
And that one too wide and incomplete. These offensive starters still out there in the second quarter. You would think the plans for them to at least play into the third quarter, if not all the way through it.
Yeah, it might go by feel. If they have a really good first drive to start the third quarter, they might pull them after that. If not, might leave them out there a little bit.
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. So we've reached halftime here in Detroit with the Lions out on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Week 3 of the preseason is here. Everyone wrapping up their exhibition schedule. No games for the league on Labor Day weekend. And then it all begins. The 17-game regular season gets underway on the Thursday after Labor Day with the NFL kickoff game. The Lions got a very strong performance out of their quarterback, Jared Goff. He fired his guys into the lead with 2 first-half touchdown passes as they were looking like a well-oiled machine in the first half of play.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Our starters likely to be out there for the third quarter as we get back underway in this second half. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Now it's Fields. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
On play action, Fields. He'll buy some time right. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. As we surmise, Charles, most of the starting units still out there for this third quarter. First time this preseason that they played into the second half.
And that's by design. Most of the time by this point of the preseason, you want them to go into the half, cool down, and then come back out and warm up to start the third quarter like you would a regular season game. That's exactly what they wanted to get done.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Now Fields. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Calling a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up second down. Back to throw. Fields. Here's Freiermuth again. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 15-yard line. From the gun, here's Fields. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Alex Anzalone, and the Lions are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging because after all their halftime talk, adjustments, and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the Detroit Lions getting set for another series here. Defensively, they didn't have an answer last drive. They're going to have to do something here. 5 catches alone on the previous series, a touchdown too.
And you and I both know that defensive coordinators tell us all the time, we don't wait for halftime for adjustments, things of that nature, right? We adjust series to series. Well, I think sometimes you need to adjust play to play because that last series, he absolutely shredded them. I've got to send more people his way and make someone else beat me on the next drive if I'm the defense.
Got to do something. Second down, and they go back to Gibbs. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Third down and 6. Goff now looking to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A big play that time on the catch and run. And it'll move the chains.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Here's Goff. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it's second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and he passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And St. Brown going to have the Lions first down as he'll be taken down at the 46. Goff now to throw. Flushed out right. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. A lot of effort there for just a 3-yard gain, and now second down. Goff throwing again. He's got it complete to Gibbs. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 28. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move. On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Going back to Gibbs on first down. He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Second down and 3, ball on the 7. They'll go again with Gibbs, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the offense, and that's going to leave him with just 1 timeout remaining still in the third quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him. We'll be back. Gibbs will take this one in. It's a Lions touchdown. Finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 down, stay on the field, run it, and catch it, and he gets it done.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And it is now 21-0. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it was all capped off by a touchdown run from Jahmyr Gibbs. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film section tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mention in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
And he'll get it right back to Washington. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. This duo locked in, 14 yards there, and a first down. From midfield now, here's Wilson. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. From the shotgun, Wilson. Now a short pass pulled in by Washington. Short completion, just 4 yards. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. Here's Wilson. He'll get this into the hands of Van Jefferson. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. Oh, good move. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10. To throw is Wilson. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Now Wilson. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That is caught and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Marquez Callaway, 36 yards. And the Steelers are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. All right, so this one not quite over yet. Back to a 2-score game, CD.
Yeah, and you've still got 4+ minutes to go, so when you think about comebacks, it's happened before. Now, it hasn't happened often, but you've got to think to yourself, let's be the next great comeback story and play this one out.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there.
And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down.
Let's go now.
Looking to throw. Hooker.
Wright's got it.
Finding room at midfield. Look at the big man rumble. Inside the 10.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown.
Brock Wright, 75 yards. And the Lions have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter.
That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they had maybe given up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he takes a shot at the end of that play.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
This one brought in by Jefferson.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be second down. Now Wilson.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
Now defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today. That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
They'll go. It's Patterson.
And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And the Lions will take over. So they've converted their first 2 4th down attempts. Not there. Now they're 2 for 3.
You think maybe the offense coordinator expended a little capital on that one? You know, when you're 2 for 2, you can lobby for that 3rd one, right? Didn't get it there. Maybe now the head coach might not be so eager to go for it as we go forward.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Here's Hooker.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Off play action. Here's Hooker. He's got right on the short throw.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
Gonna need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first.
Hooker going to try and throw for it. He's got his running back out of the backfield.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
Bam Knight,
28 yards.
And the Lions have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield in the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field.
CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Under pressure, and they got to him again. And we'll go in the box as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
Boy, tough spot here as they approach the line of scrimmage. A long way to go to try to pick up this 1st down.
And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another pass pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan and especially the execution.
We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Well, they came into this one with a vision, Charles, and it has played out exactly as they had hoped, if not even better. They've got the huge lead here, and now the football for the final moments of the fourth.
Yeah, and it was apparent that they were the better team, right? We figured that out pretty early. But give them a lot of credit for staying with it. They didn't stumble around out there. They didn't create a lot of errors for themselves because they were the superior team. They took care of business and closed them out pretty quickly.
Well, this was a really nice display, Charles, of complimentary football, especially how much they were humming in the second half to pull away and get the victory. Really a complete performance.
And so much fun when you're able to have everyone contribute, both sides of the ball. You go back in the locker room and you just savor it, right? Because that's what football's all about. A true team game, and they got it done in this one.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.